The cracks in my armor are showing. To me, they feel as if they're deep and expansive caverns of which I am lost. Others simply see the glistening armor a mighty knight wears as he takes on any foe. Surely, there is nothing this knight would not overcome. This tower of confidence with seemingly supernatural will could never succumb to that which plagues mere mortals. This knight remembers the bruises. He feels the pain of the dents inflicted on his protective shell from past beatings. Still, they ride into battle without thought of fame or glory, because it's what must be done. He battles, not because it is what is asked of him, but because it's what must be done. But this knight feels the armor's cracks. The once mighty shield now feels a prison. The horrors of past experiences have evolved into monsters that haunt him. Even the formerly tiny enemies have grown into insurmountable foes. This knight is tired. Dreams of peace and tranquility fill the mind. The idea of getting away from it all, an intoxicating siren. Perhaps a simple life lived, in the woods, away from civilization, only the call of nature to answer to. Living in balance with no one to seek out the help of this battle-worn and weary soul. Alas, it is just that, a dream. Tomorrow this knight must ride again, into the battle only to be battered and bruised again, with no end in sight. So this story is something that I wrote back in 2019 or 2020, and it was about work in the creative industry. And it was everything that I was doing, it was just always, I would always take the mantle of whatever was being asked of me. I was always problem solving. People would come and ask, like, oh, hey, we need this thing done. And even if it wasn't in my wheelhouse, I would do my best to try to figure out how to fix it. And so I kind of became the jack of all trades, the Johnny on the spot, the guy that people went to. And I wasn't the only one, but I was definitely one of them. So this is one of the biggest reasons why I started my own company, because this sense of being overwhelmed and people seeing this like glistening armor of this knight that's riding into battle, and oh, how heroic, and really inside that armor, the knight, me, was feeling it on the inside. The every single mission, every single project was becoming too much. It was, each one always had these emergency deadlines of, I need this and I need it yesterday. And it became too much. And so I wrote this as just kind of like it was just how I was feeling. And I forgot that I wrote it until I found it about 6 months, maybe a year later. And I was in a slightly better place mentally, and so it kind of honestly broke my own heart reading about that and not realizing not remembering that that's how I felt. And I remember like 2020 was a tough year for all of us, just trying to figure out what the heck was going on with the world. And so I ended up diving into work, and work was actually very busy for me. I was able to lean on my skill set and convert some of the stuff the company was doing over to like websites and video. It dealt very well with my skill set. So I was very busy when a lot of people weren't, and I was training people up that had nothing to do with photo, video, websites, anything. And it was good. But then when about 2021 picked up, it all caught up. There was more work, and then the people that I had trained they went back to their normal business, their normal jobs, and that's cool, that's fine. But then all that work was still there, and I had me. So around this time where I found this, or sometime around then, 2021, sometime in 2021, I started this little endeavor to go analog. And it was because I was just like always in front of the computer. I wasn't out in the field anymore because I ended up working remotely now. And I ended up being in Massachusetts, and my original position was in California. So everything was here. Once in a while I'd fly out and I'd do a specific photo shoot if it was like a really big deal, or if I needed to train somebody else to be the boots on the ground. But for the most part I was stuck on my butt on the computer. And the other thing that happened with 2020 was everybody started working remotely. So we ended up blurring the lines of what is business time and what is personal time. So people just got used to, oh, this client just emailed me, so I need to get this taken care of right now. Whereas just before 2020, when it was in the office, people would stop by the desk and say, oh, hey, where's Dave? Oh, he went home for the day. It's 6 o'clock. And they'd say, okay, I'll catch up with him tomorrow. And so that just ended up blurring the lines, and work just became this all-encompassing thing. And not that I need to beat this into a pulp, but I was digital 100%. So I started writing stuff down in a notebook. I got it behind me over here, and it kind of journaling, but trying to be as analog as possible. And then not long after that, I found a typewriter. So obviously I got really into typing again. I never really was super into typing, but I did do some of it. I'm that old where you needed to type stuff up on a typewriter. And so I had my mom's typewriter that I would use for some school projects. And so I was familiar with it, and I have a similar one to what she has. And then recently I was able to I had amazing wins. Like I got this guy over here. Don't mind the desk. Oh, you can't see it. Hold on. I'll bring it over. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. It's kind of dark now, so I got this guy for like $5. This is a really good, this is literally a laptop. I can throw this on my laptop or on my lap and type. It's great. And then in the next week, I found this guy, this big boy. This is a Royal 10. I have been trying to, even though I'm doing my own business, I've been trying to pull in some of these analog notions into my own business. So like right now I'm writing a newsletter, starting a newsletter for 124. It's actually it's more of my journey, kind of this, but in newsletter format. So it's about me, the founder. And so right now I'm calling it Founder's Corner, and I'm sending it to people that are interested in this kind of thing, the kind of behind the scenes, the really intimate look at my journey. I'm not gonna say what it takes to build a business because it's different for everybody, but my journey on this. And so I've been writing the stuff up and like editing it with like red pen and trying to kind of dive into that, because it slows you down. It forces you to slow down. And that's kind of the idea of the analog thing. So it's been a lot healthier since I've started doing that. And I'm not saying that digital is not healthy, but just that mindset of like, I need to slow down, and where I can kind of slow these things down, because when it comes time to do work, when it comes time to do deliverables, and clients are saying, hey, I need this photo shoot done, and you have to like be on it. So when I don't have to be on it, when I have a chance to like pause, calm down, I've found so much value in that because it makes me think. And even like one of the things that I do is I have a dictionary and a thesaurus. I got these two little ones, and I have another typewriter. It's over by my desk where my computer is, and that has another big dictionary on it. And I use that to, if I need to actually look up a word, once in a while I'll ask Siri. I'll say, hey, how do you spell this, or what's the definition? But more often than not, I will take the dictionary out and see, just to make sure that I have the spelling right, because it does force me down into like, hey, slow down your thoughts, slow down what you're writing. And then what I've found is that my writing is more clear, and I've been able to articulate better on the first draft. There's less deleting. There's less, like sometimes I'll stop and I'll just think, and I'll think about everything that I'm trying to say for the next sentence or so, and then I'll type it out. And the rhythmic, that typing, that clackety-clack is very rhythmic, and it's almost calming. As long as it's this one is really good because you don't hear a lot of thudding. You hear just the clickety-clack. And that has become almost meditative. And I've found it very cathartic. So one of the things in this digital world is I'm pulling in these things that are old. They're analog. They're archaic by modern standards. And I think that kind of ties into the craftsmanship end of like that pillar that I was talking about the other day of craftsmanship. This is not just what's the destination, what's the message. So I need to send out this newsletter. I want to tell people something. I want to tell people kind of exactly what I'm telling you. And so I could on a computer, and that's the destination. Whereas this is more like the journey to get to the destination. This is the scenic route of your trip. It's not just, oh, we got to Disney. It's like, hey, we took the scenic route. We went through the woods. There aren't really any woods to get to Disney. But, like out here in New England, dude, the woods are insane. We have them everywhere. And I love it. And so my wife is wonderful. She's very patient with me, and almost always will take the scenic route, which is slower, obviously, but it's so beautiful just to be through the woods. And anyway, it's part of the journey and kind of relishing that. So this relishing, and even that like shift, and you hear that thud, and then of course it's not going to do the bell. Hold on. You get the bell, and that is just kind of a reminder, hey, next line. There's something visceral about it. There's something calming. But anyway, so I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying the analog aspect of it. And I've been more inspired to do other writing. I mean, I wrote a book 2010, I think. It's not great, but it was my first book, and it was a dream to write a book when I was a little kid. And again, that was another one of those things where it was, yeah, that's nice. That's nice, little Dave. You're going to write a book. Sure you are. How's that chapter coming, right? You get that. You feel that other people are saying that, even if they aren't. But I actually did it. And it's not, I'm not the next Henry David Thoreau or Stephen King or, but I accomplished something that I had always wanted to, and that was so cool. So I'm starting to really play around with writing a second one. And it's been 10 years, and it's been 13 years. And I've had so much experience since between that. So even just writing the viewpoint that I have is probably not going to be extraordinarily different, but that experience will tie into it. So anyway, that's all. I just wanted to kind of talk about that. I found this, I called it the Night's Cracks. And you know what, I'll probably I'll put this up on my website, and eventually it's not going to go up with this because I just want to knock this video out. So but I'll put this up on my website and then link to it in the description at some point for those that are interested in viewing it. But as always, thank you very much for listening. I will see you tomorrow. And until next time, you know what I'm going to say. Be good to each other.